What's up to all my land investors out there? I just wanted to record a quick video doing a quick market highlight. I know a lot of people are always like, what's the next hot market, right? Obviously, we know places like North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, these have all been hot for a lot of land investors in the area. But like, what's kind of the next up and coming market? Today, I'm going to focus on central and northern Alabama here. So I'm over here in the land portal. If you're not already using the land portal, what are you even doing? Get yourself a land portal subscription. Dive into this because you get all these resources here. So we got a heat map here. What I'm showing today is sold counts here in the last 90 days. So what I'm looking for here are, the high ones here are going to be in green. This is where lots of land is being sold. Now I'm focusing mostly on this like area between kind of Huntsville and Birmingham, which is kind of a little bit further down here. So these kind of areas that are in here, you see all these green and light green and even some of these orangish yellow places. These are places where lots of land is selling, right? These are, over the last 90 days, where's the majority of land? It's like circled around Huntsville, it's circled around Birmingham. These areas are blowing up. There's lots of government agencies moving there. There's lots of people in the private sector there that support government agencies. So things like Space Force is moving their command there. There's the Rockwell Armory down there, which is like a giant army base. That has lots of other like things that are moving down there to be around that armory. And so there's tons of stuff moving into this Huntsville, Alabama county here. And so all the stuff around it. So the people here that have been here for a while are starting to get priced out, or they're starting to see, their home values increasing. And they're like, well, I can go get some land and some homes out in this other area, out in the surrounding area, and get away from the crowds. And so you're starting to see a little bit of an exodus out of this Huntsville, Alabama area into these surrounding counties where it kind of puts you in the path of progress. And that's kind of what you're seeing here with these counts. Some of the next stuff that I like to look at is kind of my bread and butter acreages. So what I'm looking for here is some of these like yellow, green, and light green areas. Like, do they stay in a good range as I kind of go through this, and which ones are they? So I'm gonna kind of try to narrow it down here. So I'm gonna go to my bread and butter acreage. We'll go to like 5 to 10 acres. That's a lot of my deals are in 5 to 10 acres. Counts, obviously, we're going to keep it on there for a second. And all of a sudden, we start seeing a lot of these that were, yellow and green are still staying yellow and green. So these are the counties that you want to start looking at. Then I'm going to start looking at stuff like days on market. How long is the land sitting on the market here? Because we want to be in an area where it's short on the market. Sometimes we just don't have enough data, but we do have some stuff here. I think this is where Birmingham is. We have this county here, which is Etowah County, Alabama, it looks like. We got low days on market, and this is in 5 to 10 acres. You can also take a peek at 2 to 5, which is kind of another area of kind of a sweet spot as far as acreage is concerned. We see Etowah staying green. So really between 2 and 10, we've got low days on market there, which is great. This other one here, Calhoun County just popped up. So good counties to start looking at as far as low days on market. Now, just because it's gray, it just means we don't have enough data, right? Sometimes we're getting county data off here and they don't keep track of days on market. So just because there's no data doesn't mean it's bad data. It just means that there's not enough data. So sometimes I'll look at stuff like absorption rate. And this will tell me a lot here. This is how new listings are doing, right? So in the last 90 days, how well are 2 to 5 acre new listings doing in some of these counties, right? So I find something like Jackson County, Alabama, right? We have 100% absorption rate, which means in the last 90 days, anything that's come on the market in 2 to 5 acres has sold within those 90 days. That's a huge advantage, right? So when we start looking at stuff like that, or, we'll bump this up to 5 to 10. Let's see if any of these counties stay green. Jackson County stays green. That means everything from 5 to 10 also 100% of them sold in the last 90 days, right? Maybe also looking at this Limestone County, Alabama here. This one, Etowah, is still staying, in the range. Half of the new properties are being sold. That's really good. So really starting to focus in on like some of this, like it's a really quickly growing area of Alabama. It's really beneficial for land investors here. Subdivisions are really easy. Buying land, selling land, you could double close in this area. So lots of advantages to going into Alabama and looking at some of these counties up here around Huntsville, and even some of these counties that are just over the county line where people can commute in, live in Tennessee and come down to Huntsville as well. So you can see a lot of sales obviously in these counties as well, where it's feasible for someone to live and maybe commute in 1 or 2 days a week if they're working remotely. But this is a really good area to start looking at, something to keep your eye on over the next 3 to 6 months, probably, as an area that I think is going to be, if you're not in there working now, you're going to want to be in the next 3 to 6 months, just keeping an eye on some of these counties here. All right, y'all, hope that helps. Have a great rest of your day. Oh, link for the land portal in my description. Once again, if you're not using the land portal, what are you even doing? There's so many things in here. I'm going to maybe do a land portal thing, but all right, talk to you guys soon. Bye.